What is happening, sports fans? It's your main man, Matt, from the DFS 5-Pack, here with my main man, the DFS Patriot, on with a little special video today, NBA in a while after we do this afternoon. But first, I know you've been geeked up about this MMA slate for, it seems like, years. So I know you're hyped to talk about it. I know we got people asking about it. I don't know much about MMA. I'm not a huge fan, but wanted to get on here and talk it out with you. I am a fan of DFS, and when there's money to be made, I'm a fan of it. So let's talk about this MMA slate, bro. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pumped. Obviously, I put the feeler out on Facebook tonight, this morning, of like, what are people thinking? And the responses were great, and everyone's like, yeah, let's get after it. So, I wanted to do it. And then when I heard that and you were on board, I was like, all right, let's get after it.
Yeah, man, I'm on board. Excited to talk some DFS. I know that there's some big contests. I'm deep in the LOL streets already today. On my second LOL slate. So yeah, man, let's get it.
All right, cool. So I'll pull up the screen. All right. So you can see up here. So I wanted to kind of go over the basics because it's the first time we've done MMA. So obviously with every sport and every DFS sport, there's a point system. So, I don't want to just be rambling on. You guys are gonna be like, what the hell is he talking about? So just to give you scoring wise, so a strike or a significant strike, they get 0.02. Control time, which is like laying on them, grappling them in the corner, that's the thing, you get 0.03 per second. So it seems like super low, but it adds up if you have a guy who's a lot of ground control and a lot of cage control. A takedown, so that's essentially a tackle. That's 5 points. If someone tries to take them down and then they reverse it, that's 5 points. If you knock them down, so if you punch them in the face and they clock down, 10 points. First round finish is 90. Second round finish is 70. Third round is 45. If it's a main event or co-main event and there's a fourth or fifth round, those are 40 each. And if you win by decision, that's 30. And there's also a thing called a quick win, where if in the first round you knock them out within the first 60 seconds, you get an additional 25 points.
I feel like a couple things on the scoring, because I've dabbled in MMA a couple times, and I hear people bitching about it on Twitter. One, the scoring is messed up because how they score the strikes and stuff doesn't seem like it's very reputable. And then also for me, I know that if you knock someone out in the first round, you should be the highest score on the slate. You know what I mean? And you're not. And I get that. That's kind of other DFS sports are like that too, where sometimes you can win too easy and you don't necessarily get as many DFS points. So I guess I do get it in that sense, but it does seem to me if you're knocking someone out in the first round, you should be one of the higher scorers on the slate. I guess you are, though. You said you get
because you get 90 points. If you get 90 points for the first round finish, and then if it's within 60 seconds, you get another 25 on top of that.
So for NBA, you want 5x, plus whatever for value, for cash games, and then higher than that for tournaments. For baseball, there's nothing like that at all. What about for MMA? What are you looking for besides your guys just winning the fights? What do you want from each guy?
So you want anywhere between 10 and 12 times their value, which sounds really excessive, and it's holy crap. But you got to think, if you have a guy, one of these 9,000 guys here, and they knock them out in the first round, that's 90 points right at the bat before you count their knockdowns, their strikes, their submission attempt, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. And then obviously for the lower guys, they're priced down here for a reason, right? But there's still chances to be had. And the big thing that I've seen MMA is everyone just looks at how many points do they average. So we'll get into it, but Rong Zhu here, right? 92 points. He's not, he had a good finish on the guy last time he fought. You really got to dive into their prior fights, who they fought, and their matchup. And there's obviously more analytics behind an MMA type, I feel because you really got to know, the size, the reach, all that stuff. So yeah.
All right, sweet.
So I'm all geeked up over here. So like I said, we'll go main event. We'll go main event first. And so that would be where the hell is it? Why don't they have us in order? Here. I don't know why I have it at 5:30. Okay. So Makhachev Green. Okay. So Bobby Green literally just fought, I think it was 3 weeks ago. He's an old school toughie. He loves getting in your face, talking shit. Where Makhachev, he's out of one of those camps out with Khabib. Very strong submission game, grapple game. and is looking like he's going to be a prize in the division. So originally he was supposed to fight someone else. The guy got hurt. So Bobby Green was like, I'll step up, because he literally knocked the shit out of the guy in 20 seconds, 30 seconds. He knocked him out like bad. So Bobby Green here. Okay. So 6,700. You see 6,700. You say, ugh. So if Bobby Green can keep this fight like on the feet, he will. That's his game. He can't. If he goes to the ground, he can wrestle. He can grapple. But that's exactly where Makhachev wants you, because he wants to get you in one of those body triangles, and he really, really wants to, he wants to submit you out. And that's where he's been most successful. So with Makhachev right here, 9,500, you're paying a steep price. But I mean, if you look, submission, decisions, right? So like Dan Hooker, he submitted him. That was insane. He just had him on the ground. He was ragged on him, and then he flipped, and then he just put him in a guillotine, and that was the end of his life.
He's projected to be by far the highest owned fighter on the slate.
Yeah, and I mean, for good reason. A, he's a main event, so he potentially has 5 rounds. So right there is an advantage. B, he is huge on the ground control, and he's a very technical submission artist. So he's gonna go for the takedowns. Okay, every takedown's 5 points. If he gets, so if he knocks Bobby Green down, takes him down, that's 5. Bobby Green's quick to get back on his feet, but if you ragdoll him down again, that's another 5. So like those will add up, especially against a guy like Bobby Green.
He's minus 900 by
minus
far.
900.
By
yeah.
far the biggest favorite on the slate.
Yes, and I mean, to be fair, so like straight pick, I think Makhachev will win. I think he'll win probably second round would be my guess. But and again, it's DFS. Like
right.
There's no, like, Bobby Green is, like I said, he's a mean dude. Like one punch, like he's got some gloves on him. Like one punch and he'll put him to sleep. So like Makhachev's really gonna want to try to get this to the ground. So if you want to take a chance in a GPP on a Bobby Green at one of the lowest prices on the slate, he's a good look. He's a good look. He's got the 5 rounds, only 6,700, and he allows you that flexibility. Now, take for granted, he probably will lose. But even in his losses, he's put up 53, 57. So like it's not ideally where you want to be, but he can do some damage.
I get that. Okay, so if you're making a lineup right now, one tournament lineup, do you think you have to pick a side in this fight, or could you just fade it?
So I can tell you that in my main GPP, I'm fading this fight. I think in a cash game, you probably just lock in Makhachev. But he's a steep price, and he's going to have to finish him within the first 2 rounds in order for him to pay that off.
Okay, so which he very easily could do, but
yeah,
if you're fading him in tournaments, I guess you hope the fight just goes longer.
Right, you hope it goes decision, and even if he wins decision, he's only going to get you 85, 90 points. I can see. So
okay.
that's not gonna give you enough upside, in a tournament. But I think in cash, he's safe.
And he's going to be like so high owned. You play him in cash games.
Oh, right. Yeah.
All right, moving on to the next fight.
That
looks like it's the last fight on the slate.
Yeah, which it's not. These are all out of order, which is actually pissing me off. That's a different story.
It's like that's scheduled to be the last fight, the one we just talked about.
Correct. So we're going the main event, which is the last fight, down to the pre.
All right. So then the next one is Turman versus Sarukyon. Yeah.
Yep. So both of these guys, I mean, how do I say this nicely? They both suck. I will be surprised if they both get renewed another contract. And I think it's going to take the winner of this fight to get renewed. This fight right here, total GPP fight. So, the difference here is, so again, I love this stuff. I watched the weigh-ins yesterday. Sarukyon looks massive compared, like he's put on some good weight, like he looks strong, and Thurman just looks like he looks like unhealthy, like he had to cut too much weight down. Another piece of the puzzle too is Sarukyon has a 5-inch reach advantage, and for 2 strikers, that's ginormous, right?
Okay.
So this is the other thing. It's gonna be an ugly fight. Like these are two, like they're just cage warriors, so they get nice and close to each other, and then they just want to, uppercut, quick 1, 2, 3. There's no real technical skill to either of them. But again, this fight right here is definitely GPP. Like this, I would not play this fight in a cash game.
And it sounds like you like Sarukyon more.
I do. Yeah, I do. And I mean, Thurman comes from a good camp. Like he's an okay fighter, but so I was kind of fancy with this prior to watching the weigh-ins the other day, and then when I saw the weigh-ins, Thurman just looks so unhealthy.
Okay, well, good insight. All right, next one we got Kim versus Cachuera.
Yes, so Kim
All
versus
these lines are
Cachuera.
pretty close, except for Green, and then one other one is like minus 400, but that's it. Wow.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's what I love about the fights too, is like they're always competitive, and like, that's where from a betting angle, and I can kind of give you who I think is going to win straight up at the end. I make a lot of money on Saturday nights through MMA because there's a lot of angles to be had, whether you go decisions, whether you go, who wins flat out, like there's a lot of money to be made. So Kim here and Cachuera, so both respectfully 5'7", both looked fine and thing. Cachuera, she wants to be on her feet, and Kim wants to get her down to the ground. Kim is the overall better fighter, overall better wrestler, and Cachuera, quite frankly, she's wild and reckless at times. So like she'll leave her chin out there, or like she'll go to throw a body hook, and she'll keep her guard down. And her output is a lot less than Kim's too. So that part it leads cause for pause for Cachuera. The other thing is too, I think this fight's probably gonna go decision. So in cash, you probably go Kim if you want to go cash.
What makes you think one fight will go decision over another one?
Just looking at their fight history, looking at their style of fighting, if this does finish inside the distance, I would be surprised. But if it'd because Cachuera did something reckless that got her caught up, in a submission, or Kim power punched her when she again was being reckless.
All right, it looks like ownership on this one is coming in. Kim's looking to be like 25% owned, and then Cachuera like 17% owned.
Yeah, so I would probably go under the field on Cachuera if you were multi-entering.
Okay, fair enough. What about Kim?
Yeah, Kim, was she at 25?
Yeah, 25. Again,
yeah. So I mean, I think that's pretty accurate. I might be at 30 if I'm doing like a 5, or no, I'll just do 10 for even numbers. If I'm doing a 10 match,
pretty confident she wins, but you're not confident she knocks out.
Right. So, and that's the thing. Like, you got to find the things and the women fights are a lot harder to find than knockouts of submissions. And it's no disrespect to women, but like the power in a male's, hand is obviously can be a lot more impactful. Where the women are a lot more strategic in most cases, and we'll get to a female fight later on, where I'm locking this lady in. And I don't usually do that, but she's one of those women that when she hits you, those other girls know it.
All right, well, excited to get there. All right, well, a nice breakdown on this one. So it looks like the next fight is Alvarez versus Sarukyan.
Yes, sir.
Sarukyan. Usually names, these are some tough names.
Oh, dude, wait. This is nothing. You should wait till you get to the ones that are like from like the middle of Georgia, and these names are like how it's like you're just pronouncing random letters.
Yeah, well, that's kind of here. All right, so this one's a little bit of a bigger spread.
Yeah.
Sarukyan is minus 240. So what's your insight here?
So I like the underdog in this fight.
Okay.
I like Alvarez in this fight. Just because he's coming off a good camp. He's coming off a really impressive win. The last time he fought, he has a 5-inch reach advantage and a 6-inch height advantage too. So he's got, not only does he have the length in the fist, but he also has the height too. So he's swinging down at the temple, swinging down at the chin, versus having to go up or going parallel side to side. So, and the only problem that I see coming with Alvarez is that his takedown defense is poor.
And also, it looks like he's getting a lot of love. It looks like they're both these guys are getting similar love. It's got to be because of their price points.
Yep.
And that, a lot of people think Alvarez, they don't put their fantasy points per game are the same per fight, excuse me. Looking at ownership and stuff, I feel like this is a fight I'd want to just fade knowing nothing, to be honest.
Yeah. And so, I mean, like, again, that's where I've kind of found the hitches, right? So we're looking at a guy who's 7,100, right? And he packs a powerful punch. He's got multiple advantages, again, with reach and with his height. And I think that, the takedown defense where he has none of it. But if Sarukyan comes in lazy, or if he comes in, in one arm instead of two arms, like takedown defense is 5 points. So every time Alvarez knocks him off or averts it, that's 5 points.
Okay.
So I like Alvarez at his price point, 7,100. I feel like it's too cheap. I think he should probably be 78. So I think you get a good discount on him on this one.
Seems to me like price is like, I don't know. I mean, I get what you're saying. Like, a price is almost irrelevant. Like, because if they win, you want him. If they don't, you don't. Or am I wrong there?
No. So I mean, obviously, like,
it reminds me of MLB in that sense. Like,
right.
It doesn't matter how expensive the guy is if he hits 3 home runs. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Maybe I'm off.
No. I mean, you have the right track. It just with this one, like, so like obviously the dogs, like being the dogs they are, like it's hard to find a card like this card. There's not a lot of good dog plays. So like in order to play, I think that's probably why a guy like Alvarez is popular, is because he's a cheap price. Same with Bobby Green. People don't think Bobby Green's gonna win,
but he's getting a little bit.
He's so cheap.
Yeah, I get you. Okay. See, I mean, I don't know. If I'm winning a GPP, if I'm looking to win a tournament, I feel like you got to have all winners. Am I wrong there?
So I would say 90% of the time you're right.
I know. I've also seen people use fighters from the same fight and take down tournaments, though.
Yeah, so they stack the main event, thinking the main event goes decision. So like next week, Mazadov and Covington, that like is a strategy that people will use, and I don't have an issue with that one. But this week, there's not a fight that I could considered stackable.
Fair enough.
So yeah. So I mean,
it could happen.
Oh no! I mean, it totally could happen. I don't know. Looking at
how does a fight be stackable where you want both sides? Like, because it feels like even in decision, you don't really want the winner unless it's two cheap guys fighting each other.
Right. So like people have talked. I know this week because we were supposed to have 14 fights. We lost 3 of them. It is what it is. It's the nature of the beast. People have talked about stacking the main event, the Makhachev Green fight, just because Green is so cheap. And he's like I said, he's a tough mother lover. So like, it's gonna take a lot to get him out of there. I don't know. I mean, that would be the only way that I would stack it. If you had two guys, like I said, that like where they're more takedown guys and they want to have control time, and they strike from the ground where they're not doing too much damage, but they're still active and controlling while striking. That's the only way I'd see. You have two takedown defense artists. So you have one guy who's blocking, but then the next guy, the same time, the other guy like takes him down the next one. That's 10 points right there. So like that would be how I'd see it. But like in the main, I probably wouldn't do it this week.
Okay, fair enough.
So the next fight on the card is Petrosian and Rodriguez. So again, if we're talking height and reach, same height, reach advantage goes to Rodriguez. He's got a 4-inch reach advantage. And this is in the middleweight division. So the problem with playing Petrosian is that he cannot wrestle. He comes from a camp where significant strikes, strike. Their wrestling is not well known. And Rodriguez is a guy who will take you down. So he has huge upside with his takedowns because of the fact that, he'll be able to take him down and he'll continue to go after him. He averages approximately 3 takedowns a fight. And against a guy like Petrosian, I could see that being closer to a 5.
He is getting double the ownership.
Yeah, I mean I love him. When I play on, so obviously I play across both sites. He is one of my captains, which is time and a half. I mean, which is points and a half. That I will be, and the next guy we'll talk about in the next fight is the other guy that I've been using a ton of.
So you like Rodriguez a lot here?
I like Rodriguez a lot here. Yep. I mean, like I said, it's a bad spot for Petrosian for stylistic wise. And where they're so close in price, I mean, I think it's hard for you. I'd be hard pressed for any reasoning to use Petrosian in this fight.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, it's not like it's a big line or anything.
No, it's not a big line, but it's funny because like sometimes, so like here's my opinion. So like the Petrosian Rodriguez fight should be closer. Sorry, should be further apart, but then the Sarukyan and Alvarez should be closer.
Okay, fair enough.
So again, and that's where like in betting, in the betting angle side, like a guy like Alvarez is if he's gonna do it, he's gonna do it inside the distance too. So if you peg him as take him just flat out win the fight, and then you take him on top of that to win inside the distance, I think that's the move.
Okay, I dig it.
Sorry. So the next fight on the card is the first fight of the prelims. So again, the last fight of the prelims, the main event of the prelims. The prelims start at 4:00. Main card starts at 7. It's on ESPN Plus for anyone that wants to watch. So, Ronaldo and Bahamomes. Okay, so that's the first fight right here, or the main fight with this one. So again, we're talking a 6-inch height disadvantage for Ru, and we're talking a 4.5-inch reach advantage for Bahamomes. So again, these are one of those ones I watched the weigh-ins. Zoo looked bad. He looked weak. And I mean, like, obviously he's gonna look, because of his stature, he's gonna look worse, obviously, than Bahamomes. But I mean, he just looked unmotivated right off the weight cut. So like, I don't know if he was fighting an injury at camp. I don't know if he's under the weather. But I mean, Bahamones is a lock for me.
Well, it looks like from like ownership, they're coming in, and it must be because of pricing like the same.
Yeah, pricing wise, I would say the same. But the funny thing is,
that makes me love Bahamondes.
Right, and that's why I have him as one of my captains.
Yeah, I mean he looks like my favorite fighter we've talked about so far.
Right, and so look at him. Like, so if you have your average person doing this, he averages 92 points at 7,200. He's going to get love. Right, that's just naturally how he's going to work. But he's had 2 fights. The one that he got decision, that fight he was so bad. That fight, like, I had him that night, and he was awful. And it clearly shows. But then, again, you have one time where he knocked out Jenkins, which was like 6 months ago, and he put up 146. So people will chase the price with the per fight average. I just see myself not using any of it. And this right here is a huge piece right here. He has to forfeit 40% of his paycheck because he did not make the weight.
Damn, that sucks.
So like, again, like 40. So like, here's the thing. So now, for that 40% goes to Bahamones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because he made the weight, so they reward the guy. Because technically, if Bahamones wanted to, he could say, "I don't want to fight him. He missed weight."
Okay,
I mean, no one's. I mean, you train that hard. You're like, oh, let me back out of this.
Right, but like he gets that. Damn. So I mean, that I don't know how much that means, but it's got to mean something.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. I mean, he looked, like I told you, he looked awful on the scale, and I think he was trying to cut because he was like, oh shit. But usually when they're at the point where they have to cut so much weight, it's usually because within their camp they've injured themselves, taking time away from the gym. So I wouldn't be surprised that after the fight we found out he had an injury.
Okay.
So the next fight is Nunes and Pascal. Okay, so this is a female fight. So what I was talking to you about. Love Nunes here. Love her. So Pascal was big. She was in the Dana White Contender Series. So she's just come up. This is her first pro fight. She has a clear height advantage. She is 5 inches taller. She has a shorter reach advantage. But Nunes is a dog. So no relation.
As a sister?
No.
Related.
But she's a dog. Like she's
getting a lot of love.
Yeah, I mean,
the highest known fighter on the slate outside of Makhachev.
Yeah, dude, she's like you. She is like I was telling you. There's a woman that will pack a punch and knock someone out. It's her. Like she's aggressive. She throws multiple strikes. She's averaging 10 significant strikes per minute, which is insane for a female fight. She doesn't take down very much, but she doesn't have to because she's so powerful in her punches. When she fights, she's compact with her hands, so she's not taking a lot of damage. She's quick. She's lock her in. Cash, GPP, lock her in.
All right, I love it. Moving on.
Let's go. All right, and please don't bet Pascal. Like she's one of the ones I'll have zero exposure to.
We'll build a little bit. We'll each do one build after this. I want to try.
All right.
Next one looks like a coin flip.
McKinney, yeah. So McKinney and Fares Diem. Okay, so again, coin flip fight. The biggest issue in this fight is McKinney's gas tank. So his last fight, his cardio was very subpar. He won in the first round, but he got lucky. Like he hit him with a reach. So like he was gassed. It was late in the first round, and he just swung. He just got lucky. He just one KO'd him. But with that being said, the thing is he's at disadvantage height wise. He's at disadvantage reach wise. But
it's like he's getting a lot more love because of the price.
What? And I was saying I don't like Perez, because look what he does. He does absolutely nothing. He wants to stand around and dance with you. Even in his wins, 67, 46, right? He wants to go decision. Like, he's just a boring fighter.
Looks like a fade fight to me then.
Well, I'm all over McKinney.
Really?
I was reading something in his camp that said, like, all they did for the first, 3 months of this camp was cardio. Because they saw how gassed he was. And they know, they know the punch he has. They know what he can do, and he's good at taking down takedown defense. So I really think he's going to come out. I think he's going to put him out in the second round. That's my guess.
All right. Well, I like that take.
So, all right. Then the next on the docket, let me see, is Perez Martinez. So again, that's this fight right here. Okay. So these are two guys, again, featherweight, it's a med division. This fight is actually a full fade for me. Martinez doesn't do enough. He's pricey at 8-8, and maybe Perez can win by decision, but I don't think this fight is one that I'll be touching. Of the higher priced guys, Martinez will be the lowest probably owned of all the high price, and I'm talking 87 and up price tags. Just because, again, he's not a super active fighter. He's not really going to do much. He'll get his strikes here and there. He's not going to really control you. But he's not doing anything either to do it. Now some people too, they're like, oh, well, there's this weird thing where people go by trend. So he's KO decision, KO decision, KO decision. But I don't like this fight. This is a fade for me.
Look at ownership real quick.
Yeah.
What's the line on this? The line on this fight is
280 minus 280 for Martinez.
Well, he's not. I see 310, so he even moved a little bit.
Okay, so he's even moved. Yeah, I mean, I think he's going to win the fight, but I just think it's a boring fight from a DFS perspective.
All right, fair enough.
All right, and then so what happened?
Second biggest favorite on the slate in Brahma.
Oh yeah, Brahma. Yep. So we have Brahma and Gilmore. Okay, so this fight right here. So it's real simple. If Brahma gets him to the mat, it's over. And the reason I think it's going to happen relatively quickly too is because Gilmore is awful at takedown defense. He gets taken down and then he can't get himself back up either. He's got terrible cardio and he's got terrible technique when it comes to takedown defense. So I think really it's going to take, Brahma is going to take one or two, punch him, get some pictures, and he's going to get him to the ground. It's going to be over.
And he's not getting as much love as the guy in the main event. So I like that pivot.
Yeah, Makhachev. I mean, Makhachev, the other thing with Makhachev, too, is everyone's playing a name. He's in a Khabib camp. They see the big name. They see the main event. Everyone thinks you have to play the main event every week, which in some cases, yeah, you do. But this is a week where, in cash, you play Makhachev, but, I don't think if I'm playing one lineup, I'm touching that fight.
I love it. Let's go on to the
first fight of the night.
Yeah, the first fight of the night, the last fight we're going to talk about, Hernandez minus 155 against Alta Mirano. Alta Mirano.
So this is a typical 8,000 fight. These are two guys that are right off the Contender Series, and they put them right against each other. So I mean, they're both good strikers. They're okay wrestlers. I think Hernandez will win the fight. It's probably going to be by decision. But again, not a fight for me. And usually the first fight of the night is, one of those hammer fights. But I think it's more of a control fight where you're going to get, a lot of grappling, a lot of, against the walls, who can lay on top of who longer. So for me, it's a fade fight.
All right, sweet. Let's build a little. I'll go first just because I don't want to have anything you say in my head. I'm just going to go off what you said and this ownership stuff. All right. So I want Brahma. I'll take Nunes and I want Baja Ignacio. Yeah, Baja Mondes. Okay, so now I got 7,600 left.
Yeah.
So this is where like you need a cheap guy.
Right.
All right, so throw in Bobby Green, I guess.
Mean Bobby Green.
Now I still only have 8K left.
Yeah, but that's plenty.
I mean, I don't know. I don't even know.
I'll do you a favor. I'll take the just play from here up.
I know you like that McKinney a lot.
Yep.
So throw him in. And then we got where would you go here?
I'd go Sarukyon.
Oh yeah, I forgot I could fit him in. All right, sweet.
I actually like that a lot. I like that lineup.
Sweet.
Yeah. So all right. So for me, if I'm going Bahamones, I'm going Nunes, I'm going Rodriguez, I am going McKinney, I am going, who do I have left? 79. That's fine. What if I go again? This could be a spot where I do go Bobby Green because if I go Bobby Green, that gets me a stud. Damn it, I'm 200 off from Sarukyon. I mean, from Brahma. Okay, so in this one, I'd probably go off Bobby Green, McKinney. Let's see, if I go Sarukyon, Kim. There it is right there.
Sweet. I mean, they're very similar.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. And the beauty of MMA when you go, when you're doing DFS in it, is everyone thinks they need to use all of their salary. Like the way to get different in tournaments is to leave that 300 to 500 on the table.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Just like any other sport, I feel like. I mean, because all of a sudden a couple upsets or one upset happens, you throw pricing out the window.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So.
All right, man. It was fun talking some MMA with you. I know we got to talk some hoops after this. My brain is already a little bit scrambled after all that info. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for coming on and talking to me. You got anything else to add for this slate?
No, just get it in. It starts at 4:00. So, that's 2 hours away right now. If you have questions, hit me up. I know I posted on the Facebook pages, but Discord, Facebook, don't matter. Just hit me up.
Sweet. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, guys.